When people hear the name Shiva, most imagine a blue-skinned god sitting in meditation on Mount Kailash, the destroyer of worlds, the lord of dyings, the one smeared in ash with a snake wrapped around his neck. But Shiva is not someone you can define in a single picture. He is not a deity who fits neatly into a frame. He is a paradox wearing human imagination as a costume. The calmest yogi and the wildest dancer. The destroyer of illusion and at the same time the one who creates new possibilities. We often think of him as only the god of destruction. But how often do we think of him as the god of transformation? Every time you shed an old habit, every time you kill an inner demon, every time you rise from a mistake as a stronger person, Shiva is already working inside you. He is not waiting for the end of the universe. He is busy breaking down the unnecessary within you every single day. There are layers about him people rarely talk about. For example, his presence in the ancient Indus Valley seals, long before Vedas were even shaped. A figure sitting in a yogic posture, surrounded by animals. Many historians believe that was one of the earliest forms of Shiva, showing how timeless and eternal his archetype really is. Another hidden detail, Shiva is never limited to a masculine identity. Ardhanarishvara, half Shiva and half Pati in one body, breaks the boundaries of gender thousands of years before society even began debating it. He is telling you that existence is not about division. It is about balance. His body smeared with ash is not just some random decoration. Ash is the final truth of everything. Anything you hold close, your body, your possessions, your ego, one day will become ash. And Shiva willingly wears that truth on his skin to remind you that once you accept mortality, you can live freely without fear. That is why the wild ascetics dance around him in joy, because they are no longer prisoners of fear. Now here is the fascinating part. Shiva is surrounded by symbols of contradictions. Serpents, tridents, the river Ganga on his head, the crescent moon on his hair, fire in one hand and a drum in another. Scholars say it looks chaotic, but if you look deeply, it is the perfect balance of cosmic opposites. He carries poison in his throat and yet gives nectar of life to others. He meditates in absolute silence, yet when he dances the entire worlds are shaken. He teaches you one thing strongly. Life is not about choosing silence or chaos. It is about knowing when to be silent and when to unleash your tandav. And perhaps the most mysterious part, Mount Kailash, his abode. No one has ever climbed its peak, and many believe nobody ever will. Scientists remain puzzled, but pilgrims know the reason. It is not just a mountain. It is the axis of existence, the still point around which everything spins. That peak belongs only to him, because he himself is the center and the circumference of this universe. So when you say Shiva, remember, you are not talking about a faraway god sitting aloof. You are speaking of a dimension, an energy, a possibility that runs in your breath, trembles in your heartbeat, and waits in silence inside you. He is not asking you to worship him blindly. He is daring you to break your illusions, dance beyond your fears, and step into the vastness that you truly are. That is Shiva, not just the destroyer of worlds, but the revealer of truth.